Done some very Tai Chi like martial arts, but it was a weapon fight. And I'm trying to, I don't need to now, but just over there were some ducks, 2 ducks. One, I'm not sure the relationship, but what I was seeing was 2 birds. One was seemed rather injured, and the other one seemed to be a protector, which I see a lot of that. Well, I've seen it before. It was geese, though, real geese. But I always respect. Yeah, I probably respect animals more than humans, to be honest with you. So I didn't make any noise. I didn't do anything that would make noise and make it, because it looked like it's probably been a hit and run. And it looked like it was between consciousness and unconsciousness. And the partner, whether it was an intimate partner or a partner of another accord, I'm not sure if it was a partner, what kind of partner it was, but it was a good character. I think animals got good characters. Yeah, I mean, like, that's the sort of thing I would have done. Yeah, I wouldn't have complained. I would have done what I had to do. You know what I'm saying? And it waited and it was protected. I could see that, but I made sure that I didn't alarm it. But it doesn't matter how diligent you are, animals will always fear you. Yeah, as long as the world is not vegan, animals will always fear you, man. Even vegans, like, they fear vegans less. Trust me, I know that. Most vegans will know that if they're ethical vegan. Yeah. I also think the ethics has an effect on your image as well. Like, I think you actually look more healthy when you're ethical, personally. Big shout out to Venus Williams. I'm pretty sure she's on an ethical diet looking at her face. You know what I'm saying? But saying that, I couldn't say. A lot of people of colour are into it for the health, really. And you know, also the image, which is just miseducation, very much so. Anyway, I just want to make this video because I want to show a couple of things, really. I want to show a couple of things. I want to show basically day in my life, I suppose, and I want to show that these animals are probably, you know, more civilized than we are. You know what I mean? People will wait around and visit you at the hospital, but it's status. It's not with the right agenda. And I'm not sure how me saying something can actually contribute to a change, but I suppose it is some contribution because the seed has been planted. Yeah, might be planted in the right place. I'm not sure. You know, there's many ways to eat it, you know. And the other thing is, like, when you unplug from tradition, like, traditionally, I wouldn't be thinking about those animals. Probably 20 years ago. Well, how long have I been like this? Well, I haven't always been vegan, but I've always respected animals. Got more respect for. When I was a kid, I didn't understand. I remember I used to love birds, man. I used to eat with birds. As a young kid. All the way up until about 12, 13, I bought the books. So into birds. They're very, very cool, man. They live a wonderful life outside of danger. Like, to be able to be so close to the sun must be amazing, and traveling and stuff like that. And the freedom and the happiness they have, and their loyalty, because they were just at home. But at the end of the day, it's still food to a lot of people. And you know, bittersweet, but very sweet and very bitter. Anyway, the other thing that I was saying earlier, back in the days before I was on the spiritual path, before I was 20, I wouldn't have acknowledged the birds. I just think, oh, there's birds. I wouldn't think, oh, it's injured or is a problem. I wouldn't think their problem is my problem, basically. We wouldn't have shared the problem. And I would have made noise, carry on, and probably killed the bird. I came back, I went off and came back, and both birds were gone. And by the way, as the bird was kind of protecting the other bird, the duck, whatever, I noticed 2 other ducks fly past, and I'm pretty sure they flew past with the same sort of agenda, you know, what matters, basically, being connected to it, like being connected to what matters takes forever, because we're in a world that does not connect with what matters. So just like veganism, just like health, just like meditation, these are things you have to maintain. No one's gonna top up your fuel, basically, you know what I'm saying? And it ain't cheap, and it ain't all roses. Sometimes it can be one of the worst paths, you know what I mean? But for those who it's designed for, they'd be okay with it, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, that's all I know up to now. But I wonder what happened to those ducks. Did someone come and you know, someone on the team, or did someone come and on the other side of the team, and the other bird had to just leave his family member? So anyway, that's that, man. So I can believe it, because yesterday I didn't exercise. I took a day off. I don't even think I did the yoga, which is forbidden. I've figured that out now. There's no gains from missing out on yoga. Basically, yesterday I was tired, but I didn't exercise, so I rested. And I was in good spirits. I was actually pretty recharged. But yesterday, Friday, and I'm not sure if it was an ordinary Friday, but when I went out, which I don't usually go out, and I certainly don't usually go out on a Friday, I was tired. I was so tired, because I knew that, because I couldn't skate how I wanted to skate. So the conclusion is a lack of energy from not exercising and regenerating my outer cells, which yoga does, and internally as well, because you do breathing. Yoga's very, I mean, I think yoga and meditation is like native, indigenous, you know, like literally anyone with hands, any speeches with hands, I think, perform meditation and yoga, you know what I mean? And I suppose maybe without hands, because yoga is just basically alignment of the body. The yoga I do, that's what it seems. It seems like it aligns the body, because if you was to renovate, this is the only example I could think which might suit this. If you was to renovate a house, which is AKA recondition, yeah, then you wouldn't just recondition one part of the house. It wouldn't be a progression for forwardness. You would have to renovate the whole house for it to really be a success. And when you inline the body, then basically it's literally like a reset, not only externally, because if you are hanged over or have some kind of toxin, which I haven't finished explaining about yesterday, if you have some kind of toxin in your system and you align the body, then there's a good possibility that toxin won't be in there, or decreased. Well, great possibility the toxin won't be in there, definite possibility it will be decreased, 100%, if you do it correctly, which is also has to be taught, because it's performance. When you learn, you're learning from a reflection of somebody practicing the movements. But that person could be in great shape. He could have been up since for 5 hours. He could be completely exhausted. Yeah. If he's going to demonstrate the poses and the patterns, I'm pretty sure he won't be exhausted, because he's probably running a business or fit. So he'd be at optimal of anything. So when you see what you're supposed to do, you're seeing it at how you should be doing it probably 5-10 years from now. You haven't had the kudos, you haven't built up the memory muscle, so you can't do those things. And if you do those things, yes, you're doing it correctly, but only for spectators' perspective. Yeah, it's only what they call showroom performance. Yeah, but to actually get the medicinal side of things, it's a completely different game. And I actually have a video, but I don't like to expose it too much. I don't like to expose too much teachings randomly, because people are strange. So I have to be mindful on certain things. Unfortunately, I would love to teach. I mean, who knows the future? Because to be honest with you, I think a complete green print is optimal in an ideal world, obviously. But this is an ideal world. But the blueprint is certainly had its moment, had definitely had its time. Look at the language. Look at. Have you seen some of the philosophy videos on my playlist? I've got a podcast playlist here as well, which has my podcast and other people's enlightening expressions that will certainly guide you well. But if you check it out, it's stuff that's quite old. So that was probably just before the blueprint, or at the blueprint, yeah. And his intentions was good, just like the medicinal environment was good, with the name called Patient. You wouldn't create a name called Patient, yeah, with not a good intention. But I reckon they took that guy out. I reckon they took the guy out who created the word patient before he added the word consistency. Because without consistency, what are you being patient about? You know what I mean? Or maybe that is the blue, because the blue is kind of a self-reliant thing where you have to kind of be a student, a learning student. A good ratio of curiosity. Anyway, I think that's it, guys. Yesterday, like I said, I went out and it was Friday, but I'm not sure, the beginning of the weekend, but I'm not sure what kind of Friday it was, because due to the rest I had yesterday, due to how I recovered, I should be ready for action right now, but I am not. I am tired, and what I've realized, just by the energy, people not activating their happiness, basically, yeah. Being in environments where people are not activating their happiness, maybe activating, the other end of happiness. Just being in that environment, yeah, visually, physically, and with my senses, the hearing sense, the eye sense, and me being there, yeah. Although I did have music at the time, God knows if I didn't have that. I'm extremely tired, and the thing is, in a distracted world, you will carry on, not even realize you're tired, because you don't do yoga. Yeah, you would carry on, and you'll exceed way past your comforts, and you would age, and you would damage, and then you would start saying, "What are you doing this at that age?" and all this sort of stuff. And when you get old, and all myths. Literally, tradition, what's available, the local, is killing you. Whether it's entertainment, education, food, wherever it is. Because their agenda is to get rich. And their agenda is to get rich because they're probably born rich. And life is a struggle without money. Because why? Because they never had to think. They never had to, when lost, wait, save, and get another one. They just replaced it, which makes you not have the capabilities to handle life. You need abundance of money because you're just so useless. Trust me. Look out at cars, and you'll see some expensive cars. You see some good behavior in expensive cars, but you'll see some people in expensive cars who can't drive. Why? They're born rich, yeah, highly miseducated, yeah. They don't have to worry. They don't have to be creative, so their capabilities of survival is a lot less, yeah. And you'll see it in their driving, yeah. And then you got those who are born with money and they have no education. Yeah, you can see that by the way they park in their car. That person can't read. Yeah. Anyway, that's it. I'm done. And I have to apologize. I just speak what I see. I have to learn how to be a bit more tactful. Sometimes I know I can feel it. As soon as I turn it off, I push some buttons I shouldn't have pushed. But it's just like skateboarding, man. Those tricks you see me doing, they're not where I want them to be. They get better. Alright? Easy.